Yeah,
Probably not.
I'm looking for a fun one. We'll talk about this later, because right now, Werewolf Radar, everyone. How you doing? I'm Roger, joined by... Oh, we do it differently. I'm Roger.
And I am Nate Bolding.
And we're joined by our very special guest from the Crypto Science Society, Jason Cordova.
Yay, I am conjoining the two of you together. I am joining you.
You heard it here first. Me and Nate are now one.
Yep.
And Nate,
are part of each other.
You have our Monstroco ad
Yes,
faxed to
we
you
are.
because when I got the fax on my fax machine, it started to bleed.
Well, yeah, your fax machine is the stomach of a pregnant woman who's giving birth to some sort of moth baby.
It's what they sent us. Or me, I guess. You apparently did not get that.
No, they were very specifically sending it to you. We are, of course, brought to you by the Monstroco brand Prius. Are you sick of driving an electric car? Plugging that in? What a pain in the ass. What if you could just make it be a blood car? It runs on blood. Sacrifice anything inside the hood of the car. You've got 9,000 miles on it. Monstroco Prius. It's technically not gasoline.
I have heard that the Monstroco Prius has ample trunk space for all the groceries, altar equipment, and dead bodies you need to transport.
Oh yeah, it's a giant ass car. You can throw anything you need in there. It's like a Cadillac from the 50s.
And I would like to start this episode with some listener stuff. So I have an update from someone who sent us a ghost story some time ago. They go by the name of Jason Hall. And a while ago, they sent us this. I've been staying with my parents, and I've started to notice some weird stuff happening. Sometimes I've been laying in bed and feel the mattress compress a little bit, like someone is sitting on it. But when I look, no one is there. The weirdest thing happened about a week ago. I was in bed, about to fall asleep, when something hit my face. It was the weirdest thing. It felt like a puff of air, but it was weirdly solid. It's hard to describe. I thought something had fallen on me, but I looked around and couldn't find anything. And there's really nowhere it could have fallen from. Then I remembered that the man that built the house had died, and his wife sold us the house. And he dies of just old age, nothing crazy.
I mean, it doesn't sound like the guy. It sounds to me like the actions of like an old hag type.
Sounds like an Edgar Allan Poe story.
So I have an update to it.
It also does do that.
I have an update. In October of last year, I was trying to put together a listener episode of stuff, and I just can't with everything I have and my fun ADHD and other things that are keeping my brain from organizing things right now. So here it is. In October,
Pills for that.
I refuse to take the pills. They don't. They
Pills for
taste
that.
like chalk.
You're not supposed to chew them.
That joke I got from my lady, and she got it from something hilarious. I forgot what though. On October 5th, they messaged us on Instagram saying, a few months ago, my wife and I were watching a movie in the basement. Then we heard my family's voices coming from upstairs as they got home, and my wife's face grew white as a sheet. I asked her what was wrong, and she shrugged it off and told me it was nothing, in a way that I knew it was definitely not nothing. When I asked again, she told me that she saw a man walk across the hallway into the storage room and thought it was my dad. Until she heard my dad's voice come from upstairs, she thought someone might have broken in. But I didn't see anything at all, and the storage room has one doorway and no other way in or out.
So she thought that it was his family.
Yes.
And it
then
was his dad walking into the room.
Yes. And then once that happened, she thought someone broke in. But unfortunately, there's no way to break into that room. Like, they came from that room with only one exit. It sounds like no windows. You can't get into this room except for that way. And someone came out of the room when no one else was there except for our listener and his wife.
Does it say that they were dead?
I'm sure they were dead, but they manifested as a living person walking through. And it sounds like the same place where he was ghost slapped.
All right, well, that's insane. Not insane of the person. It's an insane experience.
Isn't it? And also on our
ghost slapped is pretty intense.
On our Twitter feed, our other favorite podcast, we have so many, but Graveyard Coffee Talk podcast tweeted, on a scale from 1 to 10, how worried should Amanda, one of the co-hosts, be that her dog managed to knock the Ouija board off the shelf and started batting around the planchette? And then,
that's going to be a 10.
And then supposedly this whole week has been Corrine's electric keyboard played itself while not plugged in, and Amanda's internet is out the day the dog played with the Ouija board unsupervised. Are these related? Can a dog summon the dead?
I think a dog could inadvertently summon the dead. Yeah.
You just
I don't think
left the door open.
I don't think Corinne would do anything to, like, she seems not to enjoy going to graveyards. You know.
But that's what's been happening on our Instagram and on our Twitter. If you have ghost stories or something, share it with us on Twitter or on Instagram. I read the Instagram messages. Don't post there enough. We're on Twitter. And now, should we start the episode proper with Jason Cordova sharing a little bit of his Stephen Greer experience?
Mesa? Oh, my Greer bashing first?
Greer bashing.
Hashtag Greer bash.
We had someone on our YouTube comment, why are you all snarky with the criticism towards Stephen Greer? And I was all like, we said in the episode we think he sucks. Yeah.
Yeah. He is. I will go on the record. Greer is an asshole. And yeah, no doubt a cult leader. So I'll try to keep it concise. When I was in the early days of being an investigator, I had a friend. He was coming through. Greer was coming through town. I want to say it was like 2008, 2009, somewhere in that time frame.
When we're all young and beautiful.
Yes. So I had a friend who was going to. He signed up for the workshop and offered to pay for me and my cousin Alejandro to go to the workshop as well. So we're like, sure, all right. It's like $200 a pop. Like, all right,
all right.
I'll take a free ride. Why not? We'll see what this is all about. And it was, pretty much word for word, like you described in last week's episode?
Maybe 2 weeks ago at most. It's been real
I'm getting
recent.
caught up.
Who-
Yeah.
but,
So it it was I was already kind of suspicious of him, but like the whole workshop was like stands out to me the most is that we were all sitting around a box and we were instructed to remote view the contents of the box. Meanwhile, he's going on about bragging about how much he can bench press.
Nice.
How I'm just a poor country doctor. What do I know about anything? But here, you're all here doing this great thing for me. He claimed that there were unmarked government vehicles following him around. I never saw them, but he was quite boastful about the fact that he has the government following him all around all the time to shut up about UFOs, but he won't. Pretty much, it was $200 per person for a weekend of listening to him talk about how awesome he is, and to learn basically the CSETI protocols are basically just it's remote viewing, and instead of remote viewing like Joe McMoneagle, Ingo Swann, for those of you who aren't familiar with a remote viewing, it's basically he's just adopting this idea of psychically spying. And like Joe McMoneagle laid out all of the protocols for remote viewing in his book. And I feel like Greer just took those protocols and applied it to contacting ETs. And he's making money on it.
Fair.
So he's definitely a liar.
But until we can bench as much as him, he cannot be stopped.
That was going to be
How
my
much-
second question. Do you remember how much he could bench?
At the time, I mean, this is almost 10 years ago. This is 10 years ago.
So we'll double it. I bet he has continued
I don't know.
practice.
To be fair, he's ripped. I mean, he's pretty well stacked, like bulging out of his golf shirt or his polo shirt.
I hate that about him.
Yeah.
Do you remember what he could bench 10 years ago?
No, I don't remember.
Fair enough.
Exactly.
So let's call it 10,000 pounds.
10,000 pounds. I don't think it was that.
Well, do you mind if I go first with my segment?
Yeah,
Nate?
go ahead. Yeah,
Excellent. So one of our Dark Council members hit us up on our Patreon and suggested we do a segment on where they're from, because it is one of the most haunted places in the country. And many places have that claim, but from my research and the Wikipedia alone,
Dollywood?
no, it's not Hollywood. It seems to be
Dollywood.
Oh, it's not. We should just do research on Dollywood anyway, but that's for later.
Look,
But-
I've done a lot of research anyway.
The capital
I got it.
of America seems to be one of the most haunted and documented in the country. There are countless papers or articles. There are countless stories. Each building seems to have its own ghost from various times in this country, from revolutionary times to modern even. And by modern, I mean 1919. So would you like to hear, and I think I'll continue on with this segment for the whole month, and we'll get deeper and deeper into what we'll call
DC mysteries.
the DC mysteries, the DC ghost mysteries.
Sorry, if you had a better name, please do that instead.
I did not. It's the DC Ghost Mysteries, Part 1 on Werewolf Radar. Thank you, Dylan Gutierrez, for suggesting this as well, because there is so much content here. To kind of wet our whistle, let's do DC's 15 most haunted locations mapped. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready to go to every one.
Okay, ready now.
This is from dccurbed.com, dc.curbed.com. We have the DC's 15 most haunted locations. Number 15, woodland spirits and creepy crawlies are said to haunt this 1,754 acre park in the middle of DC. It's called Rock Creek Park.
That's a lot of space for woodland creatures to be hunting.
Let me show you the area. It is very huge. It's
Pretty.
that whole wooded area right there. It leaves the District of Maryland. It starts like in the north center of it, and supposedly just countless ghosts.
Yeah, but it looks very nice.
Yeah, it looks like a fairy glen.
Now let's go down to number 14. 3206 Q Street Northwest.
Well, Q Street, come on.
The fact
That's where assholes live.
the fact that this Victorian home in Georgetown was the site of a depressing murder did not stop the place from selling in 2013 and going under contract in 2019.
Is there a non-depressing murder?
The murder was of Viola Draft, who was murdered in the bathroom. The Georgetown journalist and socialite was found dead in her bathroom in 2011 by her husband, Albrecht Moof.
He sounds like an escaped Nazi.
Albrecht. Albrecht. He was suspected of being the killer, and he did a hunger strike, which has delayed the trial for Draft's death.
Oh boy, he definitely killed that woman.
Just based on his name.
Just based on his name. See, Nate, you do like the efficienciness of dictatorships. We could be in a Nate-dom. Where am I at? There we are. Going down the street and list, we have Walsh Mansion, currently housing the Indonesian embassy. This is one of DuPont Circle's most haunted properties. The ghost in residence, the Eponymous, I can't speak anymore. The former owner, thank you. The former owner, Evelyn Walsh McLean, was one of the last owners of the Hope Diamond. Supposedly, My Precious is involved. It just says, quote, curse. My Precious. I don't know if that's a Lord of the Rings reference or something Evelyn said.
I mean, it's insane pretty much no matter what. Having owned the Hope Diamond is If you
don't know about the Hope Diamond, to kind of catch you up, I think it might be one of the most cursed gems of recorded history. Everyone to own the Hope Diamond has fell under great misfortune. And I believe that goes both personal and business fortune. And the current owners are the Smithsonian. And look what's happening to America. That's why Werewolf Radar says, "Make America free of the Hope Diamond again."
Oh, that's a campaign.
Mm-hmm. We're running for office.
problem.
Me and Nate and Jordan together,
We're
sharing
finally
one
doing the
position.
No Hope campaign.
To eliminate all of the cursed items in the Smithsonian's inventory.
Yes, and there are a number. We might do a segment on that. We could do a segment on the Hope Diamond fully because it is part of DC's haunted history.
It has many kills.
I now bring us back over to Q Street. And let me show us the map as well so we can kind of get acquainted with this haunted capital of America. So Q Street, there you have Walsh Manor down the street, Walsh Mansion. Q Street, we're going down Q Street a little, and now we're at Old Stone House. Supposedly, multiple ghosts have been spotted at this Georgetown home, the oldest structure in DC on its original foundation. That's awesome. I don't know how it's still standing. DC is a swamp.
I mean, I would imagine because it's just
on the only solid ground.
Yeah.
And
made of brick.
It may be the only location in the nation's capital where a ghoul named George has reportedly choked visitors. Oh, I didn't mean to say it like that. That's horrifying.
Damn.
As opposed to a president named George who choked his visitors.
And I'm going to share this as well on our Discord because if you go through the article, they have correctly linked so many sources to what they're talking about with a lot of these hauntings. You can find it in our Listen Along channel, which everyone has access to. You can find access to our Discord on our Twitter. But like the source for the Old Stone House is plentiful at a place called waymarking.com. The internet's still wonderful, you know? There's more than just porn on this baby. There's ads for HelloFresh. You now have the Exorcist Steps. Once again, we're in Georgetown. We're going a little bit west from where we were. Georgetown's creepiest filming location has been terrifying since Linda Blair played a possessed teen in the 1973 Exorcist flick. I feel they're insulting The Exorcist. Why not just film? It's less type. The steps were recognized in a historic landmark in 2019. We're now entering kind of the city proper at the Hay Adams. It's a hotel, and it is apparently haunted by Marion Hooper Adams, otherwise known as Clover, and the wife of writer Henry Adams. If you're a Henry Adams fan, check out the Hay Adams. Marion died in the building and is said to be especially active around the anniversary of her death in early December. This place has a phone number you can call the hotel as well. Ask them about Marion.
A ghost hotline?
Basically, right next to the Hay Adams, making sure I didn't skip one because this is formatted weirdly, the Cutts Madison House. The ghost of former First Lady Dolly Madison supposedly haunts this historic house. It was where she spent the last few years of her life, and she reportedly is seen often on the porch. If you go to our YouTube, you can see the porch of this bad boy, and I assume she's just sitting on the stoop there. There's not a lot of places for her to be. This has to be an awesome ghost to see.
Right. I think it used to be more of an octagonal home.
You and your octagonal homes. So now we have
Octagonal.
the Decatur house.
Decatur?
Listen, I know English. Hard for my
there's
mouth
lots of
to
ways
move.
to pronounce things.
This historic house museum near the White House is said to be the haunt of the ghost of Naval Officer Stephen Decatur. Wait, no, how again?
I would pronounce it Decatur.
Decatur sounds so insane. Stephen Decatur. Kylie is so upset at my speaking, she's yelling at me through the recording. Decatur died in the house after losing a duel.
Oh yeah, that's definitely Decatur.
That's awesome. A duel ghost.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now we're on the other side of DC City, kind of the heart of DC, at Mary Surratt, at the Mary Surratt house. Now, if you don't know Mary Surratt, she was supposedly I think not supposedly, maybe, I don't know. Who knows? History's wild. She was part of the Lincoln assassination as a conspirator and is located, it's located in Chinatown. She was definitely part of it.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. I was like, did they do good investigations back then? And I'm sure they did. This is the time of Sherlock.
I mean, I don't know that they did good actual investigations, but from what we know,
Mary Surratt was a conspirator.
Definitely part of it, yeah.
So Surratt, who was hanged for the conspiracy, allegedly haunts the place.
All she did was set a goddamn foot. Like
the ground floor now houses a Chinese restaurant I've actually been to. So guys, I went to DC for that Stephen Colbert, Jon Stewart shared live show.
It wasn't for this podcast?
No, it was not. But I've been to this fucking building and I did not know this had a ghost in there. And if I did, I would not have left this Chinese restaurant. They would have had to kick me out. You
always got to do your homework before you travel, Roger.
Yes, you do. Search where the ghosts are. Know your hauntings. Search where the ghosts are before you travel so you can eat at their fine establishments. Promote local ghost eateries. Let's keep on continuing. Lafayette Square Park, the Star Spangled Banner author Francis Scott Key's son, Philip Barton Key II, was killed in this park.
Wait, so he's Philip Barton Key II.
Okay, so this is some drama, everyone.
Okay.
Hold on a moment.
I was gonna say.
So, Francis Scott Key's son, Philip Barton Key II, was killed in this park by his friend, who was angry that the younger Key was sleeping with the friend's wife.
Well, it sounds like there's also adultery happening up top. Like, how is he the second?
It could be like a My Family situation, to where the men in the Norquist family, I guess, Roger is what every grandson is named. So I'm technically Roger the second.
Which kind of rules, actually. So
you alternate?
Yes.
So like your great.
I mean, I'm not. I'm only having chipmunks. But yes, it's an alternating naming scheme, I guess. He's not the only specter in the park, though. You also have former president and war criminal Andrew Jackson creeping around the area.
One of the worst. How come he couldn't have been shot?
Now we have the White House, America's most famous address, which I beg to differ. I don't know of a more famous one, actually, so maybe you win. Is also one of its most haunted. Dolly Madison, once again, supposedly hangs around here. Oh, no, that was a different lady.
Oh, but that's the old White House. That's not 1662.
No, supposedly Dolly Madison still hangs out at this area. She moved.
All right, well,
the most famous ghost, of course, Abraham Lincoln.
Who continues to fuck in the bedroom?
The Octagon House. Now, we've talked about this before. I can't remember if it was a grave nugget or if we actually did a segment on it.
It was both.
There are reports of girls screaming, specters climbing the stairs, bells ringing, and even former First Lady Dolly Madison once again wandering the premise.
She is omnipresent.
Dolly, where can't you be? Yeah, Dolly Madison is at the Cuts Madison house too. That's 3 different spots Dolly Madison fucking haunts.
That's insane.
I think we need to redefine what most haunted means.
This is Dolly's place.
And the award to the most hauntings goes to Dolly
Former
Madison.
First Lady Dolly fucking Madison.
The most haunting.
On this list, we have just the U.S. Capitol, which is a huge complex, truly. The ghost of several congressional representatives who died either within the Capitol's walls or during their time in the legislative haunt of the famed complex. John Quincy Adams, most prominently. There's also a demon black cat on the grounds. With a link.
Only thing that I care about from
with a link,
article.
And that link is fucking huge. I'm going to share that in the listen along as well. Make sure you join our Discord. Find it on our Twitter. Also on the YouTube now that I'm doing things competently. 2 more to go, and then it's your turn, Nate. Sorry for taking up the time with so much nonsense. I have now the Smithsonian Castle. For years, there have been tales of ghosts walking the halls of the Smithsonian Castle, including the founder, James Smithson.
Yeah, well, you also shouldn't build a castle without assuming that it's going to have a ghost.
And now
every castle has a ghost.
Check this out. James Smithson is fucking entombed in the castle.
He guaranteed
even worse.
There would be a ghost.
And now last.
Roger, that's what you got to do if you want your house haunted. You gotta really commit to the bit.
I got to put a body in these walls. So now to end my segment for today, and I'm going to do some deep diving into DC for you. I have so many sources here. The Demon Cat did pique our interest. I'll look into that maybe. But that's for next week. Right now, ending my segment, DC Ghost Mystery, Tidal Basin, and the Jefferson Memorial. When the fog comes out, the Tidal Basin and the Jefferson Memorial can look like the creepiest part of the district. Don't fall in. You may not come back out. Yeah, it was a very bad entry, but I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Slave owner?
Yeah, that Jefferson. No ghost, just a threat. Don't fall in. There. You might not make it back out.
It almost feels like that's where the mobsters go to dump the bodies. So just steer clear.
It might be where Hoffa is.
And now, Nate, I slide the speaking skull to you to continue and close this episode of Werewolf Radar.
Yeah, this is going to be a segment I guess calling boobies.
Ooh.
Which is cursed movies, which we've talked about a little bit, I think, in a previous episode. But I found a bunch more stuff that's worth talking about. Obviously, Poltergeist is the big one. Dominique Dunn was murdered by her boyfriend. Heather O'Rourke died from septic shock at 12.
Oh, God.
I got theories I can't share because various people of us work in Hollywood still.
Oliver Robbins, who played the brother, said that he nearly died after being choked by the arms of an evil puppet.
Ooh, fucking frightening. There's evidence of that. The puppet.
Yeah.
What is that?
Also,
Yeah. Say that one more time.
That was Poltergeist.
That was in Poltergeist.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said that happened in real life. Like the puppet actually strangled him and it was a situation.
Well, it may be. I mean,
Yeah,
he said he
on
was
set.
nearly murdered by it. So
that movie.
Yeah, the Poltergeist stories are crazy.
Also on Ghost, a movie that I'm
Ghost,
imagining.
like Patrick Swayze's Ghost?
Yep.
The greatest movie of all time.
So they shot
Hands
that
down.
on this. They shot that on the same set that they had shot some Poltergeist stuff with Heather O'Rourke, and crew members said that they continually heard the footsteps of an unseen figure and a child laughing.
Ooh, I hate it.
It's not good. Exorcism of Emily Rose. Jennifer Carpenter says she was haunted by a ghost that seemed to have a taste for the musical. She told Dread Central that while she was working on the film, a radio would continually turn on by itself whenever she got home. Which, I don't know,
creepy.
Sounds like, yeah, creepy, but it sounds like she's making it up.
That happened to me at an Oxford tour, at the Oxford Hotel tour here in Denver. It was for a journalism class, and they were like, check out this place, write a little fluff piece on its historic blah, blah, blah. And then they get to the ghost part, and supposedly this room is haunted. And then the radio just turns on blaring. I always assume they fake it for tours, but it was still frightening to have that jump scare.
Yeah,
cool.
I mean, even so, like, that's a lot.
It was a lot.
Speaking of a lot, here's a fun one from The Innkeepers. I don't know if you saw it. It's a good movie. The cast and crew associated experienced paranormal activity in the form of lights switching off and on for no reason. Doors would swing open and shut, frightening those who were present. Cast members even received phone calls that when they answered would have nobody on the other end. The hotel where the film was shot, the Yankee Peddler, which I don't know if that's the real name of the place or the movie name, but
I'm Googling
it. Is known to be a hotspot for ghost hunters.
All I could find is the Yankee Peddler Festival Association.
All right, so it's probably real. I mean, this thing was shot in 2011. It might be closed.
Where else do we go?
Well, 2013.
Oh, time travel.
Silent film Return to Babylon is said to have captured demonic activity on film.
What?
This one is actually crazy.
What was the movie again? Silent Babylon?
Return to Babylon.
Jesus, I was listening, I swear.
Director Alex Monti and used an old school. Director Alex Monti Canamani.
Kanawati. Oh, I see it. Kanawati.
Yeah, used an old school camera with black and white film that he mysteriously found in a bag. But when he watched back what he'd cut on the camera, the lead actors' faces had morphed into demonic-looking creatures.
Fucking weird. I hate that.
And this one is fucking nuts. So it also has a pretty dope cast. So the whole thing is, it takes place in the 1920s. Jennifer Tilly plays Clara Bow. Maria Conchita Alonso plays Lupe Velez. Ione Skye is in it. Debbie Mazar. Tippi Hedren. And what happened apparently was all of them could have been seen morphing into grotesque shapes. There were reports of actors having elongated and webbed fingers, full-bodied apparitions, seeing the faces of dead actors who they were playing that manifest in the shots, and shouts resembling demons or skeletons.
So this was all happening exclusively on film, right? Nobody was actually seeing this in...
Yeah, this was all
time.
a on-film situation. I'm at a...
It seems like it was always on film, but I think that they did see it.
I have a video I'm going to share in our Discord. It's somewhat long, so you can go through it yourself. But it's someone examining the demon faces of Return to Babylon. I'll share it in our I should have been doing this too. I'm sorry, everyone. Here is a wall mostly. Here's the link to that Return to Babylon video. Go on.
I shall. This is a kind of fun one. It's not paranormal at all. But I enjoy it. This is a quote about Maximum Overdrive. Which, if you did not know, this is written and directed by Stephen King at his
Cokiest?
total cocaine. Yeah.
There's lots of movies that go for the cokiest movie of all time, but Maximum Overdrive is up there.
Yeah, it's one. Yeah, top 5, easy. This quote is from actor Laura Harrington. You always felt like someone was going to die on the set.
It's because he kept directing everyone with that gun.
The cursed film was... This isn't a quote anymore, but the cursed film saw near-death experiences for cameraman and stuntman as well as a hurricane, which hit the set during production. Camera assistant Sylvia Giulietti would later say, "Every day we had security. Because the movie was a very dangerous movie. And here's the thing that I really want to talk about is the curse of a movie called Atuk. The Hollywood script that's killed 6 actors.
Oh, what?
Just a script.
Yep, this has never been made. It was a novel called The Incomparable Atuk by a guy named Mordecai Rickler.
And it is written in a tongue more ancient than man. It sounds like one of those situations to where, like, this is an ancient text written in modern times.
Lovecraftian.
And yet he is a weird Canadian. So it's all in English. The story is about an Inuit poet from Baffin Island who gets sent to Toronto. A fish out of the water story. But in the movie version, he lives in Alaska, ends up in New York City. A woman visits his town in Alaska. She's a documentarian. When they leave, he stows away on the plane. When he arrives, he saves a young man who is the son of a powerful real estate mogul, and hijinks ensue.
No, fun. And then 6 people die, you say?
Yes. 6 people that I think most of us admire. The film adaptation was requested by Norman Jewison. Todd Carroll wrote the adaptation. Jewison planned to film it in Canada. Blah, blah, blah. John Belushi was the first actor to be attached to the film. He offered the lead role in 1982 and showed a lot of interest in the script. A few months later, on March 5th, he was found dead. I think we know all about it.
Mm-hmm.
Penguins.
Yep. Murdered by penguins.
The werewolf radar theory.
Penguins who were filled with heroin. It's a problem.
Have you seen penguin mouths?
Not like up close. I'm scared now.
Like look up the inside of a penguin's mouth, an open beak. They have teeth. like it's like looking into a sandworm's mouth. Penguins are not what you think they are. Yep.
The number one question, why do penguins' mouths look like that? I'm not going to click. Anyway, to more terrifying stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm a little thrown off by all of that.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. I thought they were a beaked thing.
Yeah, it's a beak.
Yeah, it's the beak still.
It's not the beak you thought it was. You're welcome.
In 1986, so Belushi's out, obviously.
Yep.
And so what they
Down the way of the
decide
dodo.
is, can we get Kinnison?
No.
This also turns out badly.
Well, I was no fan of Sam Kinison, as I don't think I was born yet. And I don't like stuff before my birth.
I mean, he does suck, but he was huge.
He was huge, baby.
So you're saying Sam Kinison, they're just going down the list of people they want to act in this movie, and they keep dying. Is that what's going on?
Yes. I mean, this is many years later.
Okay.
It's also worth noting that, in theory, all these people would be in some sort of brown face, probably playing an Inuit.
Yeah.
Which
another reason it should not be named.
Yeah. And then a person that we probably actually do like, John Candy, gets put on the project in 1992.
Just going down the list every 7 years, killing a new dude.
Well, it's a cursed movie.
This is like some Macbeth power.
Do they need to is it like they read the script and then they die, or is it like they have to sign on?
It seems like all of these people were signed on at some point.
Okay.
To play the lead, right? Of the Inuit?
Yes. So it's bad, and it's bad.
Now, I usually don't I usually discount the idea of Native American curses because I feel like, most white folks are fully capable of bringing doom upon themselves.
Yes.
But this one might be like the idea, the whole premise of this movie in and of itself. Like there could be some elder that's just like put their medicine on it. This is like, nope, this one's not going to get made.
Not this one.
Yeah, 100%. It's kind of a horrendous idea from the beginning. And it just keeps getting, and
it gets worse. We're only at what, person 4, 3?
Yeah, we're working on person 5 in 1994.
Belushi, Kennison, Candy.
1997. Chris Farley.
What? also, aren't these all
Belushi.
like Second City SNL cats as well?
Yeah,
they are. There could be a
something
Chicago
inside.
situation.
Like maybe it's more than.
We have a lot of things that can be cursed. We got Second City, definitely cursed in its own way. I don't care what they say. The institution and everything's been around too long. You guys be cursed now.
Close. We got Rick Moranis, Eugene Levy. Who else? They're still here.
Goodness.
Stay away from them. Wave them off.
Number 5.
Chris Farley is also attached. Ends up dying months after he's supposed to play Atuk.
Which seems to be what's happening. Like you sign on, 6 or so months later, you're dead.
Pretty much immediately.
Dead.
And the next one, Phil Hartman.
Hilarious. I think he was a groundling.
He was.
But
and
SNL.
He was murdered by his wife shortly after he signed on for this movie.
But he was also cheating on her.
Already...
And it was a bad situation.
I can't imagine it was a good situation.
Wasn't he already in politics at this point? Right?
Bill Hartman got into politics? What was the fucking early 2000s?
No, you're thinking of oh God, what is his name?
Stuart Smalley.
He was a Minnesota guy.
Oh, old Minnesota Brad.
That's right, Minnesota Brad.
Al Franken is who we're thinking
Al
of.
Franken.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
He was cursed by another devil.
Himself.
Yep, you're right. My mistake. Carry on.
No, same time though. Like same time.
And basically same career. Like
TV funny man.
They're working all the same jobs. Just one of them ends up getting shot in the head after joining on to this new version of the A-Tuck movie.
Very Macbethy vibes. And then this is the sixth.
Hasn't killed anybody, right?
It's never been made, so I guess we don't know. It might kill all of us. And 6 might have been wrong. It might have just been 5. But yeah, that's pretty much everybody that's ever been attached to this movie. And again, all white people who would be playing a native person.
Excellent point.
Have been killed somehow.
So what you're saying is cancel culture is real. It's a ghost.
I'm saying, don't fuck up out there.
Just like get a hint. Get a hint.
I don't care if it's 1997. You should know this.
Fucking crazy. And there's so many coincidences. All SNL cats, I think, for the most part. Or in that community.
SNL or Second City.
Yeah.
Some crossing.
It's a comedy curse. Stay away from this film.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Hollywood, stop trying to produce this. Let it die.
For real.
I don't know what they tried for 30 years.
And as late as the 90s. I guess by the 2000s, they stopped, right? Finally got woke enough.
It was an existing IP, so there was no safety net behind it.
Right.
It seems unlikely that they'll try and make another one, but who knows? But also,
who knows?
Maybe with an actual Inuit person, it could be
an enjoyable
comedy.
That's a novel. Give it to Taika Waititi. See what he can do with it.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen Slashback. That was very fun.
Everyone, pause it. Go watch that. Come back. Tell us your thoughts.
It was on Shudder.
All right. Welcome back. Tell us your thoughts. We're going to continue.
But yeah, that's pretty much what we got for cursed movies this week.
All right then. Then I think that's a successful episode. Thank you, Jason, for joining us. Thank you all Pingos for listening to us. New Pingos, thank you for joining us. All the new subscribers on YouTube, thank you for hitting that button. We really appreciate it. And check us out on Twitter. Check us out on Instagram. Say hello. If you have paranormal happenings happening to you, tell us about them. We'll keep your name secret and discuss and share that with everyone and give ourselves some goosebumps, Nate, do you want some listener goosebumps?
I love nothing more than listener goosebumps.
We'll try and get some. So hit us up there, Twitter.
What do they taste like?
Instagram. Weirdly earthy. Like a grave.
Is that what the grave nuggets are made out of?
The grave tastes different.
One of many ingredients, perhaps?
Every week a different proprietary blend from Nate. We're talking those grave nuggets. Join our Patreon at patreon.com/werewolfradar. where you can get those exclusive episodes only the Dark Council members get. They're not released to the public. And that's patreon.com/werewolfradar. Now let's end this great episode with our sign-off line on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Punch the sky, Spaceman Joe.
Punch the sky, Spaceman Joe.
This is why we need Jordan.